There's a code to manifest large sums in 12 hours that most people refuse to believe works. No overnight waiting, no week-long processes, no gradual systems. In fact, the moment you stop stretching it into tomorrow, that's when it arrives today. Sounds impossible. But I'm about to show you exactly why it works and how you activate it. Here's what nobody tells you about manifesting money in 12 hours. Every technique you've learned is designed to make you feel productive within that window. Because doing something feels like progress. It feels like momentum. The manifestation industry has convinced millions that attracting large sums in 12 hours requires constant action, strategic intensity, and urgent execution. But there's a problem, a critical one. Every time you sit down trying to manifest money in the next 12 hours, you broadcast one thing: I don't have this yet, and the clock is running, so I need to force it. That forcing becomes evidence of lack. It's like trying to convince someone you're calm by talking about how calm you are every 5 minutes. The more you insist, the less they believe you. And more importantly, the less you believe yourself. This is why people spend 12 hours obsessing and attract nothing. They're working hard from the wrong place. They're trying to pull something missing. And the universe doesn't respond to effort, it responds to state. Think about everything you currently have that you don't stress about. Your ability to breathe. Your ability to think. Maybe your apartment, your phone, your morning routine. These things just exist. You don't affirm them into existence every day. You don't visualize having them. You don't script about them. They're just there, natural, normal, boring even. That's the state we're going for with money in 12 hours. Now here's the key insight that changes everything. Wealthy people don't study how to manifest money quickly. Ever notice that? Elon Musk isn't reading manifestation guides. Warren Buffett doesn't have a 12-hour money ritual. Successful entrepreneurs aren't waking up to speed up their cash flow. They're just being people who have money. It's natural to them. And this is where the code comes in. Because it's not about doing more in 12 hours. It's about being different in those 12 hours. Specifically, it's about borrowing the internal state of someone who already possesses large sums without any of the work. The code is called assumption without urgency, and it has 3 distinct components. Now listen. Before you do anything in those 12 hours, you need to lock into one specific internal state. Not hope, not positive thinking, not visualization. I'm talking about the internal state of someone who already possesses the money. And here's the thing. Most people miss. This state is available to you right now. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to deserve it. It's just there, waiting. Here's exactly how it works. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture someone you know who has large amounts of money. Not their house. Not their car. I want you to notice their internal posture. Notice how they carry themselves. Notice the absence of panic in their energy. Notice that they're not wondering if money will show up. To them, money is like oxygen. It's expected. It's normal. It's boring even. That internal state, that's what you're borrowing for the next 12 hours. The technique is called the state anchor. Here's the execution. For the next 12 hours, every single time you feel urgency creeping in, and it will, you pause. You take 3 deep breaths, and you silently say, I'm someone who has this money. Not, I'm becoming someone. Not, I'm trying to become. I am. Present tense. Already true. This single shift stops the desperation signal dead in its tracks, because the universe picks up on desperation faster than anything else. But here's where it gets critical. You can't do this once and think it sticks. You have to anchor this state minimum 5 times in those 12 hours. Every time doubt whispers in, you re-anchor. Every time urgency rises, you re-anchor. Every time you catch yourself checking your phone for proof, you pause and re-anchor. This is non-negotiable. Now most people make a devastating mistake here. They do the state work, feel good for a moment, and then immediately start looking for evidence. They check their bank account. They refresh their email. They scroll waiting for a notification. They're basically affirming, I don't have this yet, so I'm waiting for it. And when you wait, you're communicating to the universe that it's absent. This is where the absence protocol comes in, and this one is sneaky. This one changes everything. The protocol has one core rule. You stop looking for the money. Completely. For 12 hours, you pretend it's not coming. You don't check, you don't expect, you don't wonder. You act like someone who already has large money would act, which is they don't obsess over it. They're moving through their day. They're focused on other things. They're not waiting. But here's the advanced part that separates people who crack this from people who don't. You need to actively redirect that waiting energy somewhere else. So for 12 hours, you're going to do 3 specific things. First, you're going to work on something that requires your full attention. Something that pulls your mind completely into the present moment. Could be creating content. Could be learning something new. Could be helping someone. Anything that forces you out of the waiting state. Second, you're going to move your body. Walk, stretch, dance, whatever. Because movement stops the mental loop. When you're moving, your nervous system can't sustain the desperation frequency. It physically shifts. Third, you're going to talk about something, anything, except the money that's supposed to arrive. Because the moment you vocalize waiting, you've just locked it into absence. So you don't mention it, you don't hint at it. You act like it's not even a factor in your 12 hours. Here's what I discovered that literally cracked the code for me. It wasn't about belief, it was about conviction. And they're completely different. Belief is thinking something might happen. Conviction is knowing it's already done. Belief wobbles. Conviction is solid. Most people try to force belief by repeating affirmations. I have this money. I have this money. I have this money. And you know what happens? Every repetition is proof they don't believe it yet. It's desperation disguised as affirmation. This doesn't work. The conviction installation is different. It works because it doesn't ask you to believe. It asks you to know. And here's how you do it. Throughout those 12 hours, you speak about the money as though it's already completed. Not the money is coming. Past tense, the money came. Not I'm manifesting it. Already done. It showed up. You're talking about it like it already happened. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that lying? No, you're not lying. You're speaking from a different time dimension. You're speaking from the place where it's already complete. And when your nervous system hears you speaking this way consistently, not once, but all day, something shifts. Your conviction hardens. Your internal frequency changes. The universe responds to that frequency. Here's the exact phrase structure I use. When thoughts come up, I don't say I'm attracting this. I say, this came through. When doubt whispers, I don't say I'm going to manifest it. I say it already landed. I'm installing the conviction through language. Through consistent past tense speaking about a future event. This rewires your certainty faster than anything else I've found. Now you might be wondering, why does this actually work? What's the mechanism? How is this not just positive thinking? Great questions. Let me show you exactly what's happening at a biological level. When you're in desperation, when you're checking your phone, refreshing your email, waiting for proof, your nervous system is in what's called high alert state. Your body is literally flooding with cortisol. Your amygdala is activated. You're broadcasting scarcity on a cellular level. And here's the thing that most people don't understand. Other people feel this. Opportunities feel this. Money feels this. Your entire energetic frequency is, I don't have this, desperately seeking it. That frequency repels what you're trying to attract. But when you lock into the state we just taught you, when you stop looking, when you speak in past tense, when you embody certainty, your nervous system downregulates. Your vagus nerve activates. Your body shifts into what's called the parasympathetic state. You're calm. You're grounded. You're not frantically seeking. And that frequency? That's magnetic. That's attractive. That's what pulls things toward you without you having to force anything. This isn't woo-woo. This is neurobiology. Your nervous system state literally determines your frequency. Your frequency determines what you attract. So the code isn't magical. It's mechanical. It's understanding how your body works and using that understanding to shift what comes to you. Now, before you go try this, I need to warn you about 3 specific mistakes that will completely sabotage you. Most people make at least one of these. Some make all 3. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. Fatal mistake. Number 1, partial belief. You do the state work, you do the absence protocol, but somewhere deep down, you don't actually believe it's possible in 12 hours. So you hedge. You do it halfway. You keep one foot in doubt. And the universe responds to that mixed signal by giving you mixed results. You can't do this halfway. You either commit fully to the 12-hour window, or you don't. Partial commitment gets you partial results, usually 0. Fatal mistake. Number 2, the check-in. I told you not to look for evidence, but most people can't help themselves. Halfway through, they think, well, let me just check if anything came through. And boom, you've just broken the frequency. You've announced to the universe, I don't actually believe this is happening. That one check-in can undo hours of work. So don't check. I'm serious. Not once. Not even for a second. Fatal mistake. Number 3, the tell. You get excited about what you're doing and you tell someone. You mention the 12-hour manifestation code to a friend. And suddenly, their skepticism enters your field. Their doubt becomes your doubt. Their "that's not realistic" becomes your internal dialogue. You've externalized your conviction to someone who doesn't have it. Keep this to yourself. Complete radio silence. Tell no one until after it's done. Now, I know some of you watching are thinking, this sounds great, but my situation is different. I have debt, I have obligations, I have real-world constraints, and I hear you. But here's what I discovered. The amount doesn't matter. The circumstances don't matter. What matters is the internal state. The code works whether you're manifesting $500 or $500,000 in 12 hours. The mechanism is identical. The frequency shift is the same. The only difference is how much you allow yourself to receive. Some people unconsciously cap their receiving at $1,000 because they don't believe $10,000 is possible. But the code doesn't care about your cap. It works at whatever level you genuinely expect. So here's what you do. You customize the code based on your genuine belief ceiling, not your fantasy number, not what you think sounds impressive, but the number that, when you say it, feels real, feels possible, feels like it could actually happen. That's your number for the 12 hours. Use that. Work with that. Because the code responds to genuine conviction, not to wishful thinking. Here's what separates people who crack this from people who don't. It's not intelligence. It's not willpower. It's trust. And specifically, it's trusting the 12-hour window itself. Most people do the work for 4 hours, see no evidence, and they panic. It's not working. This doesn't work. I wasted my time. And they abandon the protocol. They go back to desperation. They start checking again. And at that point, it's over. But if you stick with it for all 12 hours, if you trust the window even when you see 0 evidence, something shifts around hour 11. Something lands. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's an opportunity. Sometimes it's a conversation that leads to money. But something always shows up for people who see it through. The challenge is trusting before you have proof. This is where most people fail. They want proof first, then they'll believe. But the code works the opposite way. You believe first, then the proof follows. You trust the 12-hour window, and within that window, things materialize. Now, I'm going to tell you something that most people who teach manifestation never say out loud. They dance around it. They hint at it, but they never just say it directly. Here it is. The 12-hour window isn't really about the 12 hours. It's about the decision you make before the 12 hours start. That decision is this. You decide that the money is no longer negotiable. It's not, maybe if I'm lucky. It's not, perhaps the universe will provide. It's, this is happening. Full stop. Non-negotiable. That decision, that internal commitment, that's what actually cracks the code. Most people never make this decision. They hope, they wish, they try, but they never actually commit. And the universe responds to commitment like nothing else. Commitment is the frequency that magnetizes things toward you. Not hope, not positive thinking. Commitment. So before you start your 12 hours, you need to make this decision consciously. Not out loud necessarily, but internally. You say to yourself, the money has arrived. This is complete. I'm not negotiating with this anymore. And then you seal that decision. You don't unseal it. You don't doubt it. It's locked in. This is what separates the people who manifest large sums in 12 hours from the people who try and fail. It's the decision. Everything after that is just execution of a decision you've already made. All right, let's get practical. Let me walk you through exactly what your 12 hours should look like, hour by hour. Because knowing the concept is one thing, executing it is another. Hour 1 to 2. Make your decision. Lock in the state. You wake up, and the very first thing you do is make the internal commitment. The money is here. It's done. Then you spend 10 minutes anchoring the state we talked about earlier. I'm someone who has this money. You say it 5 times. You feel it in your body. You notice the shift. Then you go about your morning like normal, but you're carrying that state with you. Hour 3 to 4, active engagement. This is when you do something that requires your full attention. You're not thinking about the money. You're working on a project, creating something, learning something, moving your body, moving your energy. You're keeping yourself out of the waiting state. Every time urgency creeps in, and it will around hour 3, you re-anchor. I'm someone who has this money. Then you keep moving. Hour 5 to 6, boundary protection. This is the critical window where most people break. Around hour 5 or 6, doubt gets loud. Your brain starts whispering, this isn't real. It's not happening. You're wasting your time. This is when you need iron discipline. You do not check your phone. You do not look for evidence. You speak in past tense about the money. It came through. It landed. You're protecting your conviction against all the doubts trying to invade. Now, I'm going to tell you something that most people who teach manifestation never say out loud. They dance around it. They hint at it, but they never just say it directly. Here it is. The 12-hour window isn't really about the 12 hours. It's about the decision you make before the 12 hours start. That decision is this. You decide that the money is no longer negotiable. It's not, maybe if I'm lucky. It's not, perhaps the universe will provide. It's, this is happening. Full stop. Non-negotiable. That decision, that internal commitment, that's what actually cracks the code. Most people never make this decision. They hope, they wish, they try, but they never actually commit. And the universe responds to commitment like nothing else. Commitment is the frequency that magnetizes things toward you. Not hope, not positive thinking. Commitment. So before you start your 12 hours, you need to make this decision consciously. Not out loud necessarily, but internally. You say to yourself, the money has arrived. This is complete. I'm not negotiating with this anymore. And then you seal that decision. You don't unseal it. You don't doubt it. It's locked in. This is what separates the people who manifest large sums in 12 hours from the people who try and fail. It's the decision. Everything after that is just execution of a decision you've already made. All right, let's get practical. Let me walk you through exactly what your 12 hours should look like, hour by hour. Because knowing the concept is one thing, Executing it is another. Hour 1 to 2. Make your decision. Lock in the state. You wake up, and the very first thing you do is make the internal commitment. The money is here. It's done. Then you spend 10 minutes anchoring the state we talked about earlier. I'm someone who has this money. You say it 5 times. You feel it in your body. You notice the shift. Then you go about your morning like normal, but you're carrying that state with you. Hour 3 to 4, active engagement. This is when you do something that requires your full attention. You're not thinking about the money. You're working on a project, creating something, learning something, moving your body, moving your energy. You're keeping yourself out of the waiting state. Every time urgency creeps in, and it will around hour 3, you re-anchor. I'm someone who has this money. Then you keep moving. Hour 5 to 6, boundary protection. This is the critical window where most people break. Around hour 5 or 6, doubt gets loud. Your brain starts whispering, "This isn't real. It's not happening. You're wasting your time." This is when you need iron discipline. You do not check your phone. You do not look for evidence. You speak in past tense about the money. It came through. It landed. You're protecting your conviction against all the doubts trying to invade. Now, there are some advanced applications of this code that I teach in my community. Combining the 12-hour window with specific energetic practices, using it for things beyond money, applying it to relationships, opportunities, health. But the foundation is always the same: state, conviction, absence, protocol. Those 3 components are universal. One final thing I need to say: this code only works if you use it. Knowledge without execution is just entertainment. You can watch this video, feel inspired, and do nothing, and nothing will happen. Or you can pick your 12-hour window this week, commit fully, and prove to yourself that this works. The choice is yours. But I know which choice leads to large sums of money showing up. So here's my challenge to you. Do one 12-hour window. Just one. See what happens. Not because you have to believe me, but because you want to know if it's real for yourself. Because once you prove it works for you, everything changes. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.